Hello, and welcome to a new video here on my channel, here at commaik. In this video, I want to show you how I'm going to build my new pool heater on top of the roof of my wood storage rack. This time I will not be installing EPDM mats, as I have done before, but rather a ribbed tube system, namely this one. This ribbed pipe system is connected to these collecting pipes and connected to each other with the various fittings. The whole thing is glued and not just plugged in. And if you want to know how the whole thing works, how you can put together a heater like this, and whether it's any use at all, then stay tuned, because that's exactly what this video is about. After we rebuilt our pool, it has a water volume of approximately 24 cubic meters. Of course, the water has to be warmed up, because no one wants to go swimming at the current temperature of 5 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. The sun is enough for heating, if you don't want to jump into the water until August, or you can help a little by building a pool heater. In addition to electrical solutions such as heat pumps or heating elements, there are of course also passive systems that are heated by the sun and heat the water. I installed a system in my pool house that, when the sun is shining, automatically opens a bypass and directs the water over the roofs back there. There are black EPDM mats up there. As soon as the sun shines on it, the water in the mats is heated and returns to the pool at around 40 degrees Celsius. After about 1 to 2 days, I can easily raise the temperature from 10 degrees Celsius to a good 18 degrees Celsius. I've had these EPDM mats up there for a good 10 years. However, the rubber mats on the left shelf are now dissolving. I don't know why. Here you can see such a mat. These are the individual tubes through which the water flows. This solar system can be connected endlessly. Mine is 4 long. I would now like to replace these mats with a so-called ribbed tube. That looks a bit like an empty electrical conduit to me. I contacted Dolphi-Ripp and got a good offer. I paid for it myself. This is not a promotional video. I'm curious to see if I can install the pool heater without any problems. But before I can put the new heating on the roof, the old heating has to be taken down first. I need to uninstall the EPDM mats. And I'll show you how I do it now. I'll take this opportunity to show you how I installed my solar heater. You can see my distribution here. These two flex fit pipes are over 1 meter deep in the ground and come from the pool house. The forward on the left, the return on the right. The water is distributed to the 3 roofs using a distributor. Each pipe supplies an EPDM mat. Here are the returns that I can turn on or off individually using the shut-off taps. On the roof, the whole thing looks like this. You can see the EPDM mats here, which are connected to the collecting pipes. These rubber hoses heat up in the sun and thereby warm the water. The inlet is down here. Moisture can already be seen here because the EPDM mats are leaking. Here you can see my previous repairs that I had to make because the EPDM mats were dissolving. For whatever reason, the mats become porous on the underside. I have so far repaired them with these connectors. They can be shortened to the correct length. They fit different sizes and are inserted into the rubber cables. I will now rebuild this area. I will put the mats that are still in order on the 3rd roof. And then I have a total of 24 square meters of heating surface with which I can heat the pool automatically. I took the EPDM mats down from the roof. The space is now free and I can start installing the solar tubes. Together with Grandpa, I will first prepare the individual segments on an OSB board. The plate is 2.50 long and is therefore as long as the roof is deep. That means the measure definitely works out. Here I would like to show you how the construction is planned. The heater inlet is on the left rear corner. The water hose comes from this side and is connected here with an adapter, such a part here. The water then runs into the distribution pipe. The water is distributed to the other side via the ribbed pipes. Here the warm water is led back into the return line via the outlet. This construction is called a Z construction. The water runs in at the bottom right and out again at the top left. The alternative would be a U structure. The water flows in at the top left and out at the top right. The water runs down, over, and up again. There are a few things that should always be taken into account during assembly. The inlet should always be at the bottom and the outlet at the top. Warm water rises to the top. The air also rises and the pipes have to be vented. In winter, the water should be drained. That's why it obviously makes sense to have an exit at the bottom. I'm going to install drainage on the left side that I can open in the winter. Here on this page, I will first build this PVC pipe in between with a T-piece in the middle. However, not a T-piece with 3 by 50 millimeters, but a T-piece that has a 1/2 inch screw opening on the underside. I can then install a tap there. Then I can simply turn on the tap and let the pool heater run empty. This way I don't have any problems with frost in winter. The end caps and the pipes are glued together. To do this, the pipes must first be cleaned with a special cleaner. Then the corresponding pipe ends are cleaned on the outside and inside with the special glue painted and put together. Then the whole thing stays securely. We have placed the spacers at a distance of 75 centimeters. I can simply clip the brackets onto the roof by default. The sleeves are then inserted into the pipe. The corrugated pipe with the rubber sleeve is then pressed onto the distributor pipe. It's very, very tight, but it also holds very well. In any case, a lubricant should be used for assembly to avoid causing damage. We will now assemble all the segments, and I will let the camera run along for you. I hope you see everything well. If you want to know how this works in detail, write me a comment under the video, and I'll be happy to go into it. If you want to know where I got all this stuff, take a look at the video. There I will link all the components for you. Please don't forget to give me a like for my video. Subscribe to my channel. We continue with the assembly of the individual segments. I will then glue the segments together on top of the roof. The ribbed pipes were pushed onto the distributor pipes with the seal and are now firmly seated there. The water can now flow through the pipes. Now comes the exciting part. The distribution pipes must be glued together. In the end, the area on the roof will be approximately 2.5 m x 4 m. To show you how to glue these pipes together, we will now show you an example. We glue the end cap. This pipe comes into the top right corner and the opening must be closed. The drain is installed on the other side. First, the bonding areas are cleaned with special cleaners and special cleaning cloths. The surfaces are then brushed with the glue and glued. The individual segments can be glued together on the roof. You can also assemble everything on the ground beforehand and lift it up in larger segments. We decided to glue the segments together here on the roof. The first segments are already on the roof. Here is the segment with the end cap glued on. The next segment is then pushed in here and glued. The same below and with all other segments, until we get to the front here. The angle for the return is glued at the top left and the angle for the forward is installed at the bottom here. I installed the new solar heater and reopened the bypass for the rib tube heater. The water now flows warmed into the pool. It is early April 2025. The weather is cold. The heating still warms the pool water by almost 4 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius per day. I'm very happy with that. A little air still comes into the pool through the two nozzles. The air was previously in the tubes and must first be pushed out by the water. You can see my inlets and returns from the pool heater here again. Now I'll look at the roof. The individual fin tubes are not laid perfectly, I admit that. In some places they stick out. But I could always pull the pipe out again and cut off a segment. Then it looks prettier. But hand on heart, it doesn't have to look fancy up here. It's about function. The solar heating should make the water warm, and it should be stable up here. Speaking of stable, I just laid this entire structure on the roof. The solar heater is windproof and stormproof. So far there have been no problems. However, under no circumstances should you attach the collecting pipes to the roof in any way. Only the upper collecting pipe may be attached. The rib tube works. When it's warm, they expand, and in winter, when it gets cold, they contract. However, if the collecting pipes are now firmly installed, damage can occur if the rib pipes work between them and tear out. What other tips can I give you? Well, the way we put the segments together was good, and it worked. However, I think it might be better if you glue the collecting pipes together first, and then mount the rib pipe on the roof. You can see it here. The pipes are not glued in a straight line. After the fin tubes are attached to the header tubes, gluing them is not that easy. The rib tubes are under tension. The special adhesive actually takes almost 10 minutes before the connection is securely cleaned the pipes, firmly bonded, applied the glue, and then squeezed the pipes for 10 minutes to keep everything in place. We didn't always manage to do this perfectly. Especially at the beginning on the upper side, it became a bit crooked, but it's closed. I can live with the odd pipes. The heating is on the roof. Nobody sees it. As long as the satellites up there leave me alone, I don't care at all. I can walk around on the rib tubes as normal to repair them or do something better. That works too. It's your turn now. Give me feedback under this video. What do you think of this project? What do you think of the rib tubes? Have you already had experience with this? Which heater do you have? A heat pump, a water heater, or do you perhaps also use the EPDM mats like I have on the other two shelves? Well, they're still running over there, and I hope for a long time. Give me feedback on your experiences under the video. What would you pay particular attention to, and what would you like to tell me? If you liked this video and got something out of it, give me a thumbs up. I would be very happy about that. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Then you won't miss any of the new videos. If you want to know where you can get the components that I installed here, then take a look at the video. As usual, I'll place the product links below the video, so you can shop directly. Same price for you and a small commission for me to continue to finance this channel and make new videos for you. Thank you for your support. I'm looking forward to the next video with you. As you can see, there is still a lot of work to do at the pool. Until then, take care, ciao.